What's going on, world? Jack of all spades, CLT, back like a boomerang. I am the beloved one, DJ Spellman. To my left, we got the boy, Pride of Africa, Ken Wabibi.
Yes, it's me, Pride of Africa, Ken Wabibi. Shout out Burkina Faso.
Shout out. To the right, Banks on the beat.
Yes, sir. Banks on the beat, Blue Water Banks, Fat Boy Tires. Shout out to me. I had a day off this week.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah, it was beautiful.
You already know Fat Boy Tires, 3700.
The Hub.
Boulevard, the Hub, my guy.
And now, starting lineup. Now, we got our special guest, Casey Foster. We go way back. Elementary, middle school, high school. Casey Foster.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for having me today.
Welcome.
You family, like I said. High school, we go back high school, so shout out Olympic Trojans.
Yes, go Olympic. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for having me. It's an honor.
Anytime.
We appreciate you making time for us.
Okay, and we want to start with, well, we do appreciate it. If that wasn't caught, we do appreciate it.
Hey.
Furthermore, we do, but we want to start off by giving you your flowers, of course. In May 19th, 2019, you became a certified permanent makeup artist and owner of Blushing Lotus. June 2020, you got married. You got to speak on these big accolades right here.
Wait, that's Hubby in the building. Hubby's in the building.
Yes,
shout out Gabe.
So thank you guys. So yes, I did start my own business last year. I have always had an interest in permanent makeup. Growing up, my grandmother, she had fake eyebrows that she had tattooed on in China, and also eyeliner. So I always had like a huge interest for it, and plus being half Chinese, no one in my family has hair whatsoever. So eyebrow hair we were definitely lacking, and I'm sure you guys remember I would go to high school with the crazy Nike swoosh eyebrows every day, so you know.
It was normalized then. I mean, it was the style.
But I actually researched getting into permanent makeup years ago. I actually had a good friend of mine. I think I was maybe in my early 20s. I think you guys may know him. He's a tattoo artist. His name is Renda.
Renda.
So
and Renda, man.
I was like so fed up one day, and I said, Renda, tattoo these eyebrows on me. And Renda's like, I can't do this. I'm a dude. And I'm like, I trust you to do it. So my first pair of eyebrows came from Renda.
Wow.
So Renda to this day is still a great friend of mine. I also reach out to him if I have questions regarding business, because you know Renda's a hustler, so he's got tons of different businesses. But so I researched a couple years back, and I wanted to create this business. And I've worked in the healthcare system forever. I worked in chiropractic, physical therapy, and for the last 7 years I worked in dentistry. And I just really wanted to be my own boss and feel like I was giving to other people. So at this time in my life, I was at a very low period. I was once previously married, and I was going through a divorce, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. So I worked 3 different jobs to start this business, and it has been going really well ever since then. So I'm extremely humbled and grateful for how well it's been going so far.
Made them sacrifices.
Talking about Renda sounds like you was
But Renda actually drew out the logo for my business as well. So I reached out to him as soon as I had this idea of like creating this LLC for myself. And I said, Renda, I need you to come up with an idea for a logo. And within a couple of days, he drew it up for me. So
that's dope.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I noticed that one of your questions was, where did I get my business name? So with me going through that challenging time in my life, the lotus is actually a flower that its roots, it grows in the mud. So for me, it was like a self-regeneration period. So the lotus flower, to me, it just means starting over, and something beautiful can bloom from dirty waters. So
Nice.
So it's been challenging. I know that there's a lot of people that are wanting to start a business of their own. If you have that drive and if you want it bad enough, you can be successful in anything.
Anything is possible. Anything's possible.
And I just want to point out to the listeners and the watchers of this episode, she really does have her own notes. Like she
Can't
There's
prepare.
no test after the podcast, Casey. There's no test.
Oh, wait, is this like too professional for you?
That's cool.
We love it. We love it.
Now, what is training like to become a permanent makeup artist? It sounds a bit intense.
So actually, a permanent makeup artist is basically just like being a tattoo artist, pretty much. I actually met my salon coworker, or we're salon roommates. Her name is Jennifer, about 2.5 years ago. And I actually met her because I wanted her to do a cover-up on some eyebrows that I had. And she was maybe 6 months into doing eyebrows, and I loved her and I loved her work, and I said, look, you got to train me on how to do this. And she's like, I don't know if I could train you. I'm just learning myself, you know? And I was like, you can do it. So she actually put together like all the materials. She ordered me a tattoo gun, everything that I needed to see my first 10 clients. And she trained me for 4 days straight. I want to say I was there until 8 o'clock every night. And she had me basically round up live models that I did. And I remember on my 4th day of training with her, I actually did 3 live models. My first model was my mom. I was scared to death. And I was like, Mom, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cut you about 100 times today. But, I mean, it's intense. And every day you still have to practice. And the more you do it, you get better. I wouldn't say that I'm the absolute best at what I do, but eventually I will get to that point where I'm satisfied. But training is typically, it depends on what state you're in. Some places offer like apprenticeships. Other states you have to have training for a certain number of hours. In North Carolina, you don't have to have any special certification whatsoever. All you need to have is a tattoo permit and a steady hand.
For sure.
Right.
So how long do they usually last?
So I actually do different types of, my work is considered semi-permanent. I do one technique which is called microblading, which is actually done with a hand blade. And it's actually 18 micro needles that are lined up side by side, and they are at a slant. And I'm basically doing almost like paper-like cuts into the skin, but I'm implanting ink at the same time. That is probably the most natural technique of semi-permanent makeup that you can get. I also do combo and ombre brows, or also known as powder brows. It's more of like a makeup look. It's I don't know what you guys know about eyebrows, but
You are educating us today. You're
I don't know,
educating us.
I don't do much of tweeze. That's about it.
But for women, probably 90% of women are drawing or penciling or powdering in their eyebrows somehow. The second technique that I do is actually done with a tattoo gun, and it gives more of a makeup look to where it looks as if a woman has actually taken powder and filled her brow in. Both of those techniques are considered semi-permanent. Semi-permanent meaning it's a little bit different from a traditional tattoo. Since I use a microneedle, it doesn't go as deep into the skin. It's only being placed until a epidermal area of the skin, which is the first 3 layers. So semi-permanent means that it will last for 1 to 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Typically, most of my clients come back yearly for a touch-up. But if you decided, I can't stand these eyebrows anymore, if you left them alone, eventually they'll fade off. And I tell clients all the time, you don't want 25-year-old eyebrows at the age of 65. Especially now with the makeup trends trending so much, semi-permanent is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, the beauty industry seems to shift every couple of years. There's always something new going on.
Definitely.
So I definitely understand that. Okay, so as far as Blushing Lotus, I mean, you just told us you offer microblading, combo eyebrows, ombre powder eyebrows, and teeth whitening. What exactly made you want to get started in this as a business?
More importantly, I just had the drive to want to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to work for myself and have flexibility, especially since I just got married. We, at some point, hope to have children in the future. And with me working in the medical field, I was just tired of working in a regular 8 to 5 every day. I have had to work extra hard to get to this point, but now I'm finally to the point where I'm actually able to have some of that flexibility. And of course, you know, what's better than working for yourself?
Right.
True.
Right. All right, well, so before I get into my question, I kind of want to back up, and we're talking about the makeup trends now. We're 3 gentlemen right here, so we probably don't know anything. So I'm just curious, like, what are the current, like, makeup trends right now?
So right now, big, fluffy eyebrows is the thing. So like when we were in high school, like real skinny eyebrows was popular. So that's the good thing about my business with it being semi-permanent. It's not there forever. They have the option to change in the future. But there's all kinds of crazy techniques that they do. And you guys are probably thinking, wow, like this is like so extra. But there's women that wax their brows. They get threading. I saw that one of you guys had mentioned that. But there's also like henna brows. I don't know if you know what that is.
The thing in your hands?
You know what a
tattoo,
henna
yeah.
tattoo?
Okay.
So basically you're dyeing your skin. So if you didn't want to commit to doing like a semi-permanent tattoo, you can always go the route of doing henna. And I think that lasts for a couple of weeks. And then also there's a technique called brow lamination.
Whoa,
where-
okay.
Yeah.
Heard that.
And educated.
I mean, we could
Yeah,
we
I just
could
bought a
try it
lemonade,
out
but I
on
don't
you
know.
guys, you know.
Cool.
I think why
DJ.
that would be a perfect follow-up to the episode.
Nah, I'm good.
We're gonna do a poll for Jack of All Spades Instagram to see who should do it. I think that'd
We
be
should
dope.
post
That
our eyebrows up. Like, who eyebrows need
That
need
would
it
be
done?
hilarious. So it's actually, I think, and I don't personally do this. I don't offer this service, but I have read up on it. But it's basically like a perm for your eyebrows.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Get my eyebrows laid?
you can perm
Yeah.
them to go a certain direction and then trim it to where it looks fuller. So yeah,
man.
if one of you guys want to volunteer for that, that would be
I don't
awesome.
think I got enough hair on mine for that. Anthony Davis.
Wait, I got a question before we move on though. So the eyebrows, they gotta actually shave their eyebrows off first, and then they go ahead and do it, or how that works?
So different permanent makeup artists do eyebrows different ways. I personally try to work within a lady's natural hair growth that she has. But there are some artists that do completely shave the eyebrow off. I just don't find that that's realistic. I tend to do it more on the natural side, and that way later on, there's less maintenance. So outside of my tattoo work, there isn't a lot of hair that a woman has to shave or pluck off. So
Okay.
Well, we definitely getting a lot of gems and education about eyebrow care. So my question is, why is it so important to women? And then, in your opinion, what would be the male equivalent? Like, to as much time as you guys put into your eyebrows, what would be the male equivalent?
You know, I actually asked Gabe about this morning because I don't really know what the male equivalent would be, because eyebrows are something that's done every day. The only thing I can think of is maybe shaving for you guys.
Yeah, haircuts.
Haircuts, probably. Yeah.
Probably,
it's pretty simple.
but you guys do that, what, maybe once a week?
Once every 2 weeks. Well, mine's once a week now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the ball team.
Yeah. So eyebrows are a huge thing. And for you guys, you probably don't understand it, but I literally have clients that come to me and they will say, I don't leave the house without drawing eyebrows on, or my husband has never seen me without eyebrows on. So for a lot of women, it's a self-confidence thing. Eyebrows can really frame your face, and it's amazing, like the transitions, just from a woman having eyebrows that are shaped a certain way or defined, it can really make them look more youthful. So it's huge. And you guys probably don't think much of it, but it's a huge thing.
Shout out to women, because y'all do a whole lot more than we do.
We asked the question because the listeners to the podcast,
right,
now they can be better men or better partners for their ladies.
Correct.
That's why it's definitely for us. We just wanted to know. You're educating us.
Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of different ways to get your eyebrows done. In your opinion, which is the best way? And then what are the side effects for, if there's any side effects to getting your eyebrows done?
So it all depends really, whether or not you get threading or waxing done. Typically women who have their eyebrows waxed or threaded, they have a lot of eyebrow hair and they just need their brows to be shaped. A lot of women, when they come to me, they either have very sparse eyebrows or they have none at all. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. In regards to knowing whether or not they're a good brow technician, I always tell clients, do your homework, look at their work. Do you trust them? Are they certified to do what they're supposed to be doing? And if they have the proper, especially during this time, sterilization techniques.
Okay.
Is there like a Yelp review site for brow?
Believe me, all women talk, so word gets around. So if there is any bad situation, word will be on the street. I can tell you that.
The next question I had was, how does someone know they have a good eyebrow technician? But you kind of answered that. So what I will ask is, have you ever had to work behind another eyebrow technician where you had to correct something?
I actually have. I have done quite a few cover-up brows. Within the last month or two, I have actually seen a handful of women who have had permanent tattoo work done in other countries. The way things are done now with semi-permanent makeup in the United States is completely different. You have to take into accountability whether or not the artist is using tattoo ink that's healthy or is good for you. But the women that I saw, actually, I want to say that she got them done in Puerto Rico, but the ink, I don't know if it was bad quality, but if the ink that they use is not good quality, it changes color over time.
Whoa.
So she had red eyebrows.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
I have several women that come to me for corrections. If the tattoo is faded enough, I can tattoo over it. But a lot of the times, and just recently, within this last week, I had to turn down 2 women that had botched eyebrows because they were way too dark. So in that case, it's heartbreaking because they either have to have removal or they just have to live with them.
So when you say removal, is like LASIK, like a laser removal of the
So for semi-permanent makeup, there is a saline removal technique where basically you're going in and they're getting micro-needled, and at the same time they're actually implanting saline into the skin to try to flush out some of that ink.
Got it.
And in that case, it could take anywhere up to 6 to 8 sessions for removal. So it gets pretty expensive. So always do your homework.
Message.
For sure.
Right.
On anything permanent, really.
Right.
Okay, we want to transition. you know, we know that you're half Chinese, and you also told our listeners. Can you enlighten us on some of the Chinese culture?
So growing up half Chinese was very interesting. My grandparents actually moved to Charlotte in 1962, and they opened one of the first Chinese restaurants in Charlotte off of South Boulevard.
Nice.
Okay.
So they did that for 26 years. So every day after school, after playing with Ken in elementary school, I would go to their Chinese restaurant and basically just hang out. I sat in a booth and did my homework and snapped snow peas, and so it was just a different upbringing for sure. I truly embrace being half Chinese. I love my grandmother to death. My grandfather passed away in 2008, but our grandmother, she's definitely the matriarch of our family. Being half Chinese, and I don't know if this is, I feel like a lot of different cultures, they have a great emphasis on family, and that's definitely what our family is about. So I love it.
Wow, I didn't know that about your background as far as like your family having a business. I'm pretty sure that made it easier for you when it came time to do your own thing, to have more confidence stepping into something.
I think that my family raised us to be hardworking. Despite having the restaurant, he also had a laundromat, and he also had a steel plating company. Oh, so he knew how to do several different things and did his best to provide for his family. So I think I definitely got the hardworking traits from that side of the family, for sure.
So speaking about hard working, so we know you're kind of crafty with interior design. So are you doing all this hard work, or are you driving your husband crazy making him do the hard work?
So we recently bought this house that we're currently in right before the pandemic. So we moved in, I want to say late February, early March. And honestly, it was not my choice to buy this house. It's in a very nice neighborhood, but we basically bought the cheapest house in the nice neighborhood. Ideally, I wanted to buy a house that was like move-in ready, and no, I don't like doing manual labor, to be honest with you. But he convinced me, and we bought this house, and I did some of the work, but I have to give Gabe all the credit. He did all of the
shout out Gabe
renovations. Yeah, I'm definitely more of the let me just pick the materials and you lay the tile, or let me just pick the wall color and you paint it. So it worked out good.
Teamwork.
Yeah, teamwork. Found a way to make it work.
Well, thank you. Yeah. During the time at home, we definitely were able to knock a lot of that stuff out.
Cool.
Okay. You got any tips from a newlywed you can give us? You know.
I don't know if I'm the right person to be asking, since this is my second marriage.
Gabe, any tips?
I did write some down, though.
Go ahead, shoot it
out. Definitely set realistic expectations. Learn to compromise. Show appreciation, which I try to tell Gabe at least once a day. I'm thankful for something that he does for me. And definitely spending time together is just as important as spending time apart. With us spending so much time at home, we probably would have gone crazy if we didn't have all that work to do. So each morning we would wake up and he would say, okay, I'm going to paint this room. And I said, and you know, I would choose a task too. So definitely being together, but separating at some point is important.
I think that's all good advice.
Thanks.
Keys.
Success. All right, so we have this segment here, Jack of All Spades Nation, called Top 5 Dead or Alive. So the research team has went through all your social media, and it looks like you're a big traveler. You got the wanderlust. So what are your top 5 places you traveled, and why?
I wouldn't say that I've traveled to a ton of places. we definitely would have wanted to travel more, but of course we can't really go anywhere now. But I absolutely love Mexico. I have been to Mexico several times. I've been to Cancun, Tulum, Riviera Maya, and I just love the people there. They're always so happy and welcoming. I've also traveled to Jamaica, which was really cool. And last year we actually spent a week in Costa Rica. We actually skipped Christmas here, which my family was not happy about. But we spent Christmas through New Year's in Costa Rica, and it was probably one of the craziest things that I've done. But we rented a house off of like VRBO, and we flew into San Jose, and we ended up driving for 3 hours to this house. We rented like this little miniature Suzuki SUV and like drove up the coast, and I just thought for sure I was going to be murdered. But it was like the best week in Costa Rica. I mean, we ate local pizza, and then there was also like a burrito shop that was like right down the hill from the house that we stayed in, and it was called Burrito Hub, and like the actual logo looked like the Pornhub logo.
That's good marketing. That's good marketing.
Somebody gonna stop there.
So you know, I love to experience different cultures. I just feel like understanding the world through your own eyes is better than actually trying to understand the world through social media. So just traveling to different countries I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, it gives you a big perspective on life and different things, seeing different cultures. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So Casey, shout out all your socials so people that are listening, that are tuned in, can follow.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we want the people to be able to find you. We have lady listeners that's going to need some eyebrows.
They got give them.
So my Instagram name is Blushing Lotus PMU.
Okay.
And on Facebook, you can find me. It's just Blushing Lotus Permanent Cosmetics.
Nice.
Okay.
So what's the location?
So I am currently in a salon in downtown Mint Hill. Like the Mint Hill Matthews area, right off of 485, so it's pretty convenient to get to. But for good eyebrows, I mean, you should drive wherever.
For sure.
Message.
Fellas too, I'm pretty sure you, well, maybe.
There's some guys out there who can
get eyebrow lamination.
We got to do the poll first.
You're a seasoned vet.
Since he was
forget, you're my guy.
Let's put it back. So we went to New York at one point in time, and our homeboy Fat Joe,
shout out to Fat
big
Joe,
up Ecuador in it, and my Latino homeboys, they love to get their eyebrows. They don't get them done, but they get the line.
That's right.
So I was getting my hair cut up there, while I was there, and they was like, "Yo, what you gonna do with them eyebrows?"
Papi, you want your eyebrow?
Leave me alone. Let me get it. So I got them shaped while I was up there many years ago.
That's so funny.
You was ahead of the curve.
You was.
Yeah, look. And I think my eyebrows are pretty nice. I haven't got them done since, but
Yes, each of you guys have very lovely eyebrows. I've been checking them out.
For the win.
Well, now we're gonna do the poll though. Seriously, we'll do a poll and see who the people want to have their eyebrows done, and then we'll get the eyebrows done, posted up.
I hope they keep my baby.
If you got fresh eyebrows and a new bald head, like that's crazy. It should be you.
Nah.
Let's get your vote right now. Who should it be?
I'm thinking Wabibi.
That's just one. We gotta go from that point on.
Hey, you're leading the pack right now.
You're gonna put a poll up.
All right, let's close this thing out. So, listeners, you just heard Casey Foster, aka CEO of Blushing Lotus.
Correct.
Once again, on IG is Blushing Lotus PMU.
PMU.
And on Facebook, just Blushing Lotus.
Permanent Cosmetics.
Got it.
So look, hopefully I can get out there and see her. She's family.
Yes.
She'll take care of you because as we can see, her eyebrows, they are immaculate as well.
Facts. They real sharp.
Yeah.
Thank you. Jennifer did these eyebrows, so I have to shout out to JS Beauty Shop.
Big up. All
Thank you guys so much.
Hey, like I said, you family, and it's so good to reconnect and see like from where we came from. You and I be further than seeing all this great stuff that you're doing. You know, shout out Gabe, your husband over there. So it's just a beautiful thing to see people grow up. So
right. Thank you guys so much.
No doubt, no doubt. So you guys already know. Jack of all Spades CLT, IG, Facebook, Jack of all Spades. You can tune into the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify. You can watch the episode on YouTube.
Yep, correct.
My favorite, last but not least, Breaker.
Yep.
But as always, I am the beloved one.
This is Wabibi. Shout out Burkina Faso. Shout out Burkina Faso.
Yep, Banks, Blue Water Banks, Fat Boy Tires.
And once again, thank you, Casey, for being a part of this.
Thank you guys.
All right. Rest in peace, Fife Dog. Shout out a Tribe Called Quest. Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram. And we out.
We out.